So we've seen lots of changes across the industry, and the need for multiple skill sets is what we've addressed or tried to address in our degree program. The program started, as I mentioned, in 2000, an initial recruitment of 18 students, and from the get-go we had VDOT as a partner broadcasting this program from Arlington across the Commonwealth. I think our first district offices were the Richmond office and the Bristol office. At that time, we weren't in the Bristol district office. We were at Virginia Highlands at the what is it called? The Higher Ed Center, the Virginia Higher Ed Center on the Virginia Highlands Community College campus. So we've come a long way from there. I remember August of 2000 talking with Jeff on the phone to say go or no go, and Jeff saying go, we're going to do it, and we've been very happy with the partnership. As I said, we have about 100 graduates to date. A little less than half of those are through the distance learning program. We added Montana DOT as a partner in 2003, and so we have an ongoing partnership with the two state DOTs, and we're talking with Mississippi DOT as a possible additional partner, as well as some other western states. So we're excited about the potential of the program. It continues to grow. The university, George Mason University, some of you may not be that familiar with us. We're the new kid on the block in the state, in a state with some very fine, very old institutions. We were founded as a branch campus of UVA in 1957, got our own charter in 1972, so we're just a little over 35 years old. In university years, that's very, very young indeed. And but it's grown. We're 30,000 plus students now, about 40% graduate, 60% undergrad, 1,300 faculty, multiple campuses: Arlington, Fairfax, Prince William. Big annual library, large library collection, most of which is electronic and available to our distance learning students all over the country. Annual budget for the university these days is about $750 million, so it's a very large enterprise. School of Public Policy is the school that offers the degree. We were established in 1991. Our budget is about $20 million a year, so the TPOL program is a fairly small part of that. We offer a PhD program in public policy. There's about 125 students currently enrolled, and we have about 850 master's students in a variety of programs: Master of Public Policy, Master of International Commerce and Policy, and as well as a very strong research component in the transportation program. I should say that in addition to being the director of the TPOL program, I've recently taken on responsibility as the Associate Dean for Research, so I'm in charge of our partnerships with other entities, which in the school, where about half of our funding is external, is a very important source of support. The faculty that delivers the degree is multidisciplinary faculty. I'm a civil engineer by training. Did my undergraduate work at Carnegie Mellon and my graduate work at Berkeley. We have urban planners. Laurie Schindler is an urban planner from Urbana-Champaign. Ken Button, an economist. Brian Benson, a public policy PhD from GMU. So we have a number of faculty from a variety of disciplines who are in our faculty, meet on an ongoing basis, and are responsible for delivering a program that we try to keep coherent and up to date through our collaborative efforts. So we're not borrowing faculty from other units on campus. We have our own core faculty that are able to be consistent in overseeing and delivering the program. On the yellow sheet there, it shows the curriculum. We have is this there in your, yeah, okay. The required Common Core courses, a governance course, and a culture and technology course. All 850 master's students take those courses. The rest of the courses are transportation-specific courses. There's a transportation systems course, which I typically teach, looks at the origin and development of transportation systems. How do transportation systems come into being? How do they evolve? How are they retired? How are they displaced by successor systems? In the career span of many of you listening or participating today, we may see some big changes in our transportation system. We have huge pressures for greenhouse gases, for land use control, for fossil fuel dependency, for national security issues, for a variety of pressures that may make this a time when we see some big changes in our transportation system. That course is really designed to say how do new transportation systems come into being, how are major transformations achieved. The Transportation Policy, Operations, and Logistics course looks at the sort of analysis of freight and supply chain management. I mentioned them before. They're big users of our transportation system. We're an increasingly trade-dependent and economy. We bring in a lot of our manufactured goods from abroad. Their distribution to the Walmart or to the Target or to the 7-Eleven or to the Safeway, all of that happens on a truck-oriented system by and large once it hits our shores. And the highway system is an important component of making that happen. That's 716. 718 is a transportation planning and policy course. Looks at the major approaches to planning and analysis of transportation systems. The transportation economics course is a microeconomics and transportation course. And finally, a practicum course in policy operations and logistics. That's a project-oriented course that works with an external client of some sort. We've used VDOT as a client in many cases over the past 10 years for these types of project courses. The current courses that are going on, ARP is the client agency for the students in Arlington and Virginia who are engaged in that, looking at aging issues, the aging population, and transportation and mobility issues for aging populations. Their report, I believe, is just coming out now, but we've looked at the adequacy of VDOT truck rest areas. So something very specific like that, the effectiveness of VDOT's customer survey that's been done over the past several years, looking at ways that might be improved or made more useful for managing. Looking at the transportation of dialysis patients by specialty transit and so forth. The other required course I didn't mention is the first one on the list, PUBP 501, Policy and Organizational Analysis. That course looks specifically at transportation data and analysis methods used typically in the transportation field. And then there are 3 courses that are elective courses. Also in your packets should be a list of elective courses that we've offered over the past several years. It looks like this. It has the GMU logo on the side here and a list of courses. You can see the range coming up in the fall. We'll be offering transportation security. This summer we're offering an ITS course taught by Steve Lockwood, somebody who's done a lot of work with VDOT and is one of the nation's leading experts on ITS and transportation system operations. Also a course on housing and community development. Our spring courses, which aren't on this list, will be transportation law and maritime transportation. So those elective courses are offered, to fill out your program. So out of all the courses you take, 2 are not transportation courses, and the remaining courses are focused on transportation. So it's a 36 credit degree total. That's the way the numbers total up. The program delivery is via distance learning. You can take the entire degree via the video conferencing system delivered to your work site in cooperation with VDOT, as mentioned. Classes meet in the late afternoon and evening. So 4:30 is the first class time, 7:20 is the second class time, breaking at 10. And so most students take 2 classes a semester. And as I mentioned, we use video conferencing to Montana and throughout Virginia.